are actually at this African exposure event in Dublin. It has been organized to create an environment where Africans can actually do business and interact with each other and share ideas and how they run their business. So we learned quite a lot today.
Yeah. The Business Expo, the African Business Expo, organized by Miss Congo and Irish Black Owned. All right, so I'm not going to go too much into the introduction of what the Business Expo is all about. I'll leave it to one person who puts everything together, the idea, introduce themselves, and then we'll begin with the programs, all right? So Miss Congo was founded by Madeline. So I'm going to get here to say a few words and welcome you guys before we begin with the program, all right? Can you give a round of applause, please?
Thank you everyone for coming today and for taking out your time to come and support all the amazing businesses. So basically why we wanted to do this, because I know when most people think about Miss Congo, it's all about pageant, but we wanted to get away from the standard cliche of being beautiful. We wanted the beauty to start within. So we wanted to showcase like all the amazing talents that we have, and also, you know, in the future to collaborate with some of the amazing business I've seen here today. So today, take out your cash, they're taking Revolut, everything, go shop till you drop. Because you're not only supporting, you're supporting our own business, you know. It's about time we put our stamp. I want to go into Jervis, I want to go into I Like Center, see some of the business that I see here, go in and shop. We want everyone to see the amazing businesses that we have. But I also want to say that this also would not have been possible without the huge help with Black-owned, Irish Black-owned, and also Raha Event Management. So we have to give them a applaud because we're here now. That's all I have to say. The Expo, Business Expo was really to showcase all the amazing businesses that we have here. And we also didn't just want it to be like just businesses, but we also got 2 speakers. And then we also have a fashion show also, just so that we can spruce up, so that it won't just be your typical Business Expo. There's different activities going on. So if you're here, you haven't been upstairs, we do have the floor upstairs as well. So make sure to just go between the 2 floors, mingle. There's plenty of businesses from food, media, all of it. We have it here, and it's amazing to see 10 category of businesses that we have today. I think that alone we need to clap for that, because we have 10 categories. And without further ado, I'm going to pass back to the MC, and everybody have a lovely time. I'll see you on the floor. Thank you.
Good morning. Morning. My name is Joe, whichever way you want to call me. Oh yeah, I have this thing I'm gonna click. But before we go in there, it's so good to see so many of you. The pandemic is over, so as we get into this, please turn on your cameras, mute your mics, and if you have any questions, just go into the comment section. And like many of you are kind of wondering why I'm wearing a suit. Me too. And you know, you can actually see my trousers, so they're not tracksuits. So, on a serious note, it's so good to see so many businesses here, and I'm here to kind of share my story. Many of you might think that I have tips on fundraising. I do, but just hold the bar very low. So, about me, I was born in Togo. I came here in 2005, and you know, just trying to go to school, college, the whole thing. I graduated in 2008. And while I was graduating, I was also doing this project called ILB. I stands for something, but Interactive Learning Board. Me and my friend Michael, we entered this startup competition, and we came second. And we had the option to either go to work, because I had a job at EY, or go build this company. I chose the latter. I got a job at EY, making an outstanding $22,500 a year, which, well, here I am. Without, you know, I made my choices, and I want to say congratulations to all the businesses here, because you actually made it this far. I didn't. The ILB obviously did not work out. It's still on paper somewhere if I go to my Google Drive. And that wasn't the first business I tried to build. I also attempted to build a music startup called SoundHub in 2016. I did it the wrong way. I went and I paid this developer €3,000 to build a platform for me, and obviously I wasted a lot of money. So hopefully I have some tips that I can share with you, or at least things not to do, because I definitely did it the wrong way. But I got lucky in life. Myself with a couple of friends in 2016, we started an organization called APNI, because when I started my job at EY, there was 150 people that started as graduates, and there was one black person. Guess who that was? You. Thank you. Yeah. I'm loving the interaction. And it was a bit strange for me as a black person going into the workplace and not seeing people that look like me or people that I can look up to. And I started like just talking to people in other companies, like, where are my black people? I need my people. And it turned out that I wasn't the only one who was experiencing this. There are so many black people in many companies that just don't have, people to look up to. And that's how we started APNI. I just wanted to hang out with black people. That's it.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
And I wanted role models that I didn't have, so we started APNI. And in the very early days, when we made an announcement, we just wanted to see, cause I wasn't too sure if there are that many people out there. So we booked a room that can take about 50 people. On the day of the event, I think 150 people showed up. And then I'm like, okay, right, we're into something here. There are people like me, people that I want to relate to, and that's how the APNI came about. I think in 2019, when I was stepping down as president, because I'm not an African president, I think there was about 2,500 members, and I was very, very lucky to have worked with amazing people and get to the APNI to where it is. It went on. Newbie ran it for 2 more years, and I think we had Ayo, who is currently running it. So shout out to the APNI people who are keeping the flame burning, and they're doing amazing things. So after APNI in 2019, by the way, I still had a job at this stage, so all these things are happening in the evenings and weekends. And if you're a business owner who has a full-time job, you definitely understand. In 2020, after I took a year from APNI, and obviously who doesn't want to start a business when the pandemic was starting, right? Newbie and I, we decided to angel invest. In April 2020, when the pandemic was the hottest thing right now, we're like, you know what, we want to go into angel investing. And the reason why we started is the company that I worked at previously, it was founded by another black guy. And throughout that journey, when I was running the finance function of that company, one thing that kept coming up is black people just found it so hard to raise money. And we're like, you know what, we're going to solve that. So we got, I think, 17 people together. I think it was like €17,000, and we're like, let's find companies to invest in. Super lucky, we found 2 companies, and they wanted to take our money. Yay. So that was, I think we wrote the checks in June 2020. We did it again, we reached out to more people. So actually, a lot of this network, people I was reaching out to from APNI, people I knew, I met at events. So some people, you might even have some emails in your LinkedIn that I sent you back in 2020. Please go open them. And we're just reaching out to people and see how we can rally the community to back African companies or African founders who are building in Africa or in Europe. Did it again that following summer. I think we raised $25,000. We invested in 3 companies. And towards the end of 2020, people started reaching out to us. I'm like, guys, this is just lads trying to, try this angel investing thing. But fast forward to now, Hook is a lot bigger than 17 people. I think we have just over 1,000 people in the community. We've raised and invested just over $2 million. And yeah. and I still work Saturdays. So, but while all that's happening, I still have a full-time job. I work for a company called Stripe, and I moved to their African subsidiary called Paystack about 2 months ago. So I still have a full-time job, and we just do Hoke in our spare time. Throughout all these drama and shenanigans, I've learned a couple of things. And the first one is just get started. I've had ideas, I've tried to build all these things, and they just never get off the ground. So if you have any idea in this room, just get it started. Getting started is hard, but keep going, because that's even harder. I remember when there was times at APNI where we're like, this thing is hard, you're not getting paid for this, you're trying to do this and trying to do that, and it was just very difficult, but we kept going, and I'm so glad that we did, because it's been around for 6 years now. Same thing at Hoke. I remember when we did the second round of Hoke, I was like, jumped in, you'd be like, bruh, man, this thing is hard, man. Like, you're working evenings, you're working weekends, and you don't really know, but we kept going, and I think we're reaping the benefits now. The third thing I really want to say is, like, build a community around you. APNI is all about community. Hoke is all about community. And I think just leveraging the community around you really helps, and that really keeps you going. At Hoke specifically, it's more like people were coming to us because we're trying to solve a problem for ourselves, and also related to that problem, and that was just much easier to build a community around it. So, like, whatever you're building, or if you have any idea, just talk to your peers, see people who are doing it, join them on that journey. And I don't know if I should be the one giving business advice, but here we are. Also, like, when you're starting, please take it easy. Build an MVP, which is a minimal viable product. Don't just do it like me, pay somebody $3,000 and you don't really know what you're doing. Please don't do that. Like, just build the bare minimum and find a customer for the thing that you're building. And once you've found 1 or 2 customers who really want to buy this thing, not because you're forcing it on them or they're your family, then you're onto something. The next stage is, build a product. Just not that you have people who want to buy your thing, then, build a product around it. At Hoke, last year, Newbie was like, people have feature requests. If you work in tech, you should know what that is. And I'm like, bruh, we're not a tech startup, please. So pretty much when people are investing with us, they're like, I want to see my investments. I'm like, dude, I'll send you investment documents. What else do you want? And then it kept coming to the point where I think this week we made a platform available for people who have invested with us. And that was just as a result of people asking us, hey, I want this and I want that. And we're very focused on listening to the community and building for them. So whatever you're doing, build for your customers. And the third one is to scale. The internet is the most amazing thing that's happened to all of us. Use it to your advantage and scale your product. Find ways to sell to people who are outside of this room, outside of this city, outside of this country. You'll be surprised how many people actually want the things that you're buying. Just leverage the internet. There's so many marketplaces out there where you can, if you don't want to do that, IG, TikTok, do your thing. And wait, y'all want to see my TikTok dance? Scale your product and just think about selling to a wider audience than the people that you know. You'll be surprised how many people want the things that you're selling. Case in point, at Hoke, I think we have investors in 30 different countries. A lot of these people I've never met in person, although we talk on Zoom. And whenever you meet them in person, Nivi and I, we went to Lagos last year. I went to London, and it was just so exciting to meet these people in person. So don't underestimate the power of the internet to scale your business. And funding, I always put it here, customers are your cheapest way to fund your business. Find the customers who really want to buy your product and sell it to them. That's how you obviously add a markup so that you can keep some money to yourself and keep reinvesting. The other one is investors. At least that's what we do. We find businesses that align with the things that we want to invest in, and we leverage the community to back them. There's so many investors out there. For you, depending on the business that you're in, there is Enterprise Ireland, there's so many government funding, as well as like there's people who want to invest in your business. You'll be surprised how many people have cash that they don't know what to do with, and you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
And they would be willing to back your business. So you need to actually find those people and sell your business to them. And also just know that these people want 20 times the money that they give you. So be aware of that. You're giving away a piece of your business, and just know the pros and cons of taking money from other people. The bank is actually struggling to deploy capital because they have so much cash, and they're actually charging people to save money with them. So like the bank is the easiest way to get funding, as long as you have the right business plan, you have something that's already working. They want to see that like this isn't an idea on paper. And everybody who has a stall here today definitely has a shot with the bank because you have a business, you have a product, something that's already working. And as I said to so many people earlier, like I don't have any magic trick on funding. This is literally the only slide I have, so sorry. And I was talking to Newbie. Newbie and I speak like daily. Sometimes I wonder if he speaks to me more than his wife. But like, I've lived here for 17 years, and I put this slide together around how we can all achieve economic prosperity. Sorry, am I good with time? Yeah, good. So like, a lot of us here are first or second generation African, and we needed the basics, which is a good education. We need to have our papers to actually go to school or get a job. I think we're doing better in step one. Step two is now we have education, we have papers. Now we can go get a job. Good few of us, most of us have a job. We can pay rent, we can pay mortgage, we can save a bit, and I think most of us are like trickling around step two. But I think the most critical part is step three, which is ownership and equity. After we can get a job, we have the experience. Now we need to actually move to this level where we can now own businesses. So many of you in this room are already doing that. We can like go into policy where we can become politicians and influence the policies that will benefit us. And I think we can own real estate so that we don't have to continuously pay rent, and we can now own things around here. Yes. And we will be in a good position to actually influence the decisions that the government is making, because when you're a business owner and you actually back your TD with cash in their next election, you actually have the power to tell them the things that you want, right? And you can't do that if you're not here. It's hard to go to your local TD and tell them that, hey, I need this. And you're like, bro, what are you doing for this community? But when you're employing, 50, 100 people, and you're paying your taxes, and you're actually adding value to the community that you're in, you technically get a seat at the table. Or I would say, you're chilling with the big boys. So, I think, personally, I want us to spend more time in step 3 and come together and play a part in, the economic prosperity of this country. And these are my puppies. Any questions? Oh, no questions?
A strategic manager holds masters in HR and postgraduate diploma in employment law. So her name is Naomi Diambu, and she is the owner of Eagle Careers, which I'm pretty sure everybody in this room actually know who Eagle Career is, because they are around. All right. So she's going to be sharing tips on getting back into workforce post-pandemic and how to utilize LinkedIn's CV prep and interview tips. All right. So Naomi Newman, can you guys give her a round of applause?
Hi guys, how are you guys doing?
Great.
Genesis is already telling me I only have 15 minutes, so I can't ramble today. I have to stay on topic. And Joey told me he wasn't prepared, but he clearly lied to me. Just clap our hands for Joey because he did a great presentation. And one thing that Joey said when the lovely lady asked the question is what did he find hard? It was being himself in the workplace and also moving up in the career ladder. if you are an employee, I know we all have businesses here, but if you're also an employee, just clap your hands and make some noise for yourself, just so I can know. We're hustling. So a lot of people are hustling here. We're in 9 to 5 game, and we're running businesses as well. We're getting very little sleep, and we're managing our homes. So we gotta be proud of ourselves. And in Eagle Careers, what I do is I try to bridge the gap with where the client is and where they're trying to be. So this could be doing a CV for you, and it could be doing interview preparation. And as a business, I'm sure we want our businesses to grow. We just don't want it to be small businesses solely for Africans. So there will come a time that you will need 50 employees, you will need 100 employees, and we're there to do the HR aspect of that, of how to help you get the right candidates, do the recruitment for you, and when they're on board, also to do have the right contracts. Because contracts, working in employment law, I'm in the WRC, the Workplace Commissions. I'm in the labor courts a lot because of silly little things, and it all comes down to process and contracts. So you don't have to worry about that. We can help you get your way there. We can help you get the clients. We can build the contracts for you. So you don't have to worry about that. We're there to assist throughout the whole way. But today I'm here to speak about how the pandemic, we all know about the dangerous sea. We all know how it affected many of us, and I don't know how these guys started a business during the pandemic. So listen, you guys are troopers. So as we can see, in January 2020, employment was at the lowest it's been in 13 years. It was just under 5%. Basically, we all know 5%, that's almost full employment. Those who are unemployed were there for specific reasons, or they just didn't want to work. But moving to April 2020, unemployment was at 25%. So you can imagine how drastic that was. And here in the graph here from CPL, we all know CPL is one of the leading recruitment agencies in the country. It breaks down how it affected people. So only 27% of people in Ireland were not affected at all throughout the pandemic. And it's really difficult to see because thank God I wasn't affected. But many people weren't affected. So you think my life is good, everyone is good. But people around us were suffering. They were struggling. Life was so difficult for them. And there was a 25% of people who were on temporary layoff. So when you're on temporary layoff, what that meant was you could be on layoff for a month, 2 months. Some people were on it for 2 years. And some people love the PUP, but if you were getting 5K a month, you're going to 350 a week. You have a mortgage to pay, you have rent to pay, a family to look after. It was really tough. People were struggling. And these are the industries that were affected the most. As we can see, we all know the hospitality, the catering industry, construction. We all know the state the country is in. People are struggling. Construction is just a mess. Whether you're homeless, whether you're renting, whether you're looking to get onto the ownership, the property ladder, it's a struggle. It's tough out here for everyone. So constructions, wholesale and retail, they were the industries that were mostly affected. And this just breaks it down in figures. So as you can see here, in construction alone, there was almost 80,000 people that were without a job. Just 80,000 people in construction alone. And accommodation, there was 127,000 people that had lost their jobs in January to April 2020. So how do people get back into employment? And like I was telling one of the girls earlier, this is just not from pre-pandemic. Even if you want a career break, even if you're changing your career. Because like we said, we're all looking at multiple ways to make money, to have a better lifestyle. As Joey was speaking, we're all trying to get to step 3, which is ownership. But how are we going to do that? We have to go through the process. So how do you get back to employment? I've just put together a few tips and breaking it down on what you can do. So Genesis keeps giving me dirty eyes, so I have to speed throughout it. So assess the marketability and define your goals. What are you looking for? You know, I feel sometimes as Africans, we have to value ourselves. You have studied, you have got the degrees, you've got the experience, you've got the qualification. So what doesn't make you the right candidate for a role? You know, you have to big yourself up sometimes. And I feel that's what the problem is with us. You go for the little. A role, when you go for an interview, they ask you what's your salary expectation. You don't even know what to say. You're lowering the salary expectations. But no, you tell them, overvalue yourself. Be great at selling yourself. So define your goals. They have to be specific. They have to be measurable. What are you looking for? What are you trying to get into? Assess the market. What is the market like in the industry that you are trying to get into? And for example, your skills. What skills do you have? For example, if you were working in events before and you no longer want to work in events, what skills did you get from the events industry that you can transfer into another industry? I know many people now and a few clients that I've had who were working in events before, but now they're working in project management. Why? Because you have to know the skills you gain. That degree, the degree is just like a piece of paper. It's like a key that opens many doors for you. You can have the degree, but you don't end up working in that specific field. You can move depending on the skills you had. And like Joey said, we have worked in so many jobs. We have to utilize those skills. You know, sometimes I do banqueting events where I'm telling people what to do. But those skills, you can use it for yourself when you're doing events coordinating, wedding coordinating. So what are you doing with the skills that you have acquired? And upskill and relevant training. This is really, we've got this. So training, I always tell people training is necessary no matter how far you've climbed up in the ladder, because that degree Joey got in 2008, yeah? The degree that I got in 2013, it is no longer relevant today. So much has changed throughout the time that you have to constantly upskill and train yourself. Whether it's a 1-day course, a 2-day course, a 2-3 month course, do something that you're staying relevant into the industry you are in or the industry you want to go into, and do research in the companies that you want to get yourself into. And obviously we have to have an up-to-date CV. It is not enough. So many people have gotten jobs without having CVs and cover letters. Why? Because they have used LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like a networking platform, the biggest networking platform in the world that people use. And sometimes people think, oh, I don't need LinkedIn, I'm still a student, or I'm a business owner. No. Whether you're a student, business owner, employee, job searching, you need a LinkedIn profile, because you can also market your business on LinkedIn. It's a great way for you to stay in touch with past employees, people you've worked with in the past, people you've went to school with as well. They're also looking for people who don't have that much experience to get into the field. They will put you through the relevant courses and you can upskill. And healthcare assistants, we all know at the moment the shortage is the way it is. If you want to get into the industry, and the thing about healthcare, you can even do it on the weekends. It doesn't even have to be a full-time job. If you're looking for the extra cash here and there, as we know, we're all hustling. We're all looking for money. So if you want to get into healthcare on the weekends, the hours are very flexible depending on the company. The courses are not even a year-long course. And after the pandemic, you can do a course online. You don't even have to go to physically a classroom. So there's so many options for everyone here while we're doing our businesses, while we're also working, because we know we're trying to get to the ownerships, the step 3 level. And we can only do this by utilizing all of these skills. So thank you very much, guys, for...
So tell me, what do you guys do?
Yeah, so basically, hi, we're Raha. We have 10 years in the business. We actually organized this expo for you guys today. What we offer our services, we do culture and arts, we do like debs, fashion shows, prom, expedition, product launches, baby showers, weddings. We actually have a wedding in June, and we have a show for a very popular show, which I can't announce yet, but it's big. It's next month.
Okay.
Anything, I think what we do that's a little bit different is that as we are all we are a mainly female team, I think we have a lot of empathy and compassion, so we kind of are able, so if you're stressed, we can support you that way, and we're very specific with what we do. So if you're looking for something specific, let's say you want a spoon that's this, we'll go out of it to find specifically that spoon. We'll find particularly that vendor that specializes in that decor, or a vendor that specializes in that type of food. We go above and beyond.
Okay,
and also
good.
Yeah, we also like to add an element of surprise, like a sprinkle. So yeah, no, and guys, we have 15% off.
I think I follow you guys online.
Instagram.
I mean on Instagram. I think, yeah.
I think you'll love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Wait, where are you guys from?
Botswana.
Botswana. Oh, I thought so.
Where are you from? Ah. Okay.
Butternut, coconut oil, cocoa butter, lemon essential oil, vitamin E oil, and it's different scents. So this would be the vanilla and cinnamon scents. That's original, and that's milk and honey. So this would be the very strong scent. If you know, some people like smelling.
skin look amazing.
Yeah.
She's
And the milk and
glowing.
honey is more on the subtle side, and that has very little scent.
That's what you use for your skin.
Yeah. I used to have horrible skin
I used
for a year until I found something which actually worked. So yeah. Finally. Yeah.
Good. Definitely. Where's your business card? We can buy stuff online.
You can buy stuff online. Yeah. I'll give you something.
Thank you for watching. This lady from Botswana had a very good point, but because there was loud music playing at the back, I couldn't post her videos. I'm sorry about that now.